I come in,
Please
sir?
come, Aashna.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
So, Aashna, please introduce yourself to the panel.
Sir, my name is Aashna Chaudhary. I have done my schooling from Delhi Public School, Ghaziabad. Thereupon, I have done my graduation in English Literature from Lady Shri Ram College for Women. Currently, I'm doing my Masters in International Relations from South Asian University. My hobbies are jogging, yoga, and reading.
So, Aashna, you're from Uttar Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
Now, Uttar Pradesh is laying a lot of emphasis on promoting religious tourism.
Yes.
Ayodhya and then Varanasi, lots of. Now, how do you think all these actions would help Uttar Pradesh and India economically and socially?
Yes, sir. Sir, Uttar Pradesh is laying a lot of emphasis on religious tourism, as is also evident from a fillip that has been given to Varanasi in the form of Kashi Tamil Samagamam. Also, the MV Ganga Vilas initiative that has been taken from the Varanasi along the routes of Ganga River. So, this will help boost tourism in India definitely, laying emphasis on places that were hitherto considered lower in terms of tourism potential. It will also lay emphasis in terms of reviving the civilizational ethos that India holds, as well as reviving the cultural values of India. So I think it has a lot of potential. Also, now there is a lot of emphasis that is given to the tourism sector in itself. For instance, the demand that it should be kept in the concurrent list. So states, I think, have a lot of potential in boosting tourism.
So, Aashna, you have done BA Honours in English, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, tell me, do you think that in the light of the fact that, anyone, we have seen a youngster who doesn't know English, develops complexes, number one. Number two, the job opportunities also get limited. So you think that English should also be a compulsory language in all the government schools as well?
Sir, English becomes an important language today because because we look forward to owning the global skills in ourselves. And with initiatives such as internationalization of education, I think English becomes an important link language. Considering if it should be made compulsory, I would say it should be introduced at certain levels in the government schools. However, in terms of making it compulsory, we should still think about it, because people coming from the disadvantaged sections of the society might not have a conducive environment at home that would help them take up English skills. So we need to think about it.
All right. Aashna, I've seen from your DAF, you have done something with NGO Vidya. You worked with NGO.
Yes, sir.
Through NSS, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, I just want to know why India needs NGOs. And there are many areas where government, in case of NSS, I'm not sure, but governments also need NGOs. So, what is so special about NGOs which government cannot deliver?
Sir, in terms of NGOs, I feel they have a wider reach. And with NGOs, we are able to penetrate services to the lowest rung of the society. That is one benefit which NGOs provide over the government. There is also greater manpower associated with NGOs. People can voluntarily, for the people who are not in the government services but want to serve the society, they can voluntarily become part of NGOs and services.
So, should they be limited only to few areas, or do you think that they are trustworthy enough to be handed over even the core jobs of administration?
Sir, there is a regulation act in India in order to regulate the NGOs, which is known as the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, that regulates the funds of the NGOs.
I'm not talking of foreign aid. I'm talking of Indian NGOs also.
Yes, sir. Sir, I think they should be regulated, because the motives of the NGOs is to be made clear, first of all. Also, it is...
Suppose you are DM of Hapur, you get into IAS, Aashna, and you have to launch a literacy program, in your district. and you have a very, good machinery, village level machinery of the government, which is at your doorstep, and you can take, use of the machinery and without any problem. In this situation, would you like to take the services of NGO for this purpose?
Sir, I would like to include the NGOs as an audit mechanism in order to make sure that the services are delivered with efficiency and there is no lacuna at the
So
part
you
of the
mean to say what government has done will be audited by a private agency?
Sir, there has been
It's a reverse thing.
Sir, there
Generally,
has
private does it, government monitors.
Sir, there has been a concept of social audit which has come into
But
the
social audit is not actually to
Yes.
be given to the social agencies.
Yes.
Social audit is the word coined so that whatever has been done by the government, it may be audited, but not necessarily by NGO.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to get it through NGO?
Sir, if we can make NGOs as one of the stakeholders,
Can we conduct elections through NGO? Can we make them presiding officers and booth level officers?
Sir, I would say it would not be a very good idea because they might have vested interests. So I think conducting the elections in a free
Okay.
and fair manner is
Last
the
question,
cornerstone.
Aashna. Japan Prime Minister is here. So, what are the common agenda points which are going to be, discussed during his visit?
Sir, I believe Indo-Pacific would hold a great importance. Another one could be the supply chain resilience initiative, which has been a talk between India, Australia, and Japan. That could form one. Asia-Africa Growth Corridor, which is jointly being seen by India and Japan, could be one. West Container Terminal in Sri Lanka could be
Thank
another.
you, Aashna.
Thank you.
Aashna, let me come back to Vidya. You were teaching children.
Yes, sir.
So I want to ask you whether in the school curriculum we should also include infamous personalities, or should we only teach them those who did something for society? What is your view of including infamous versus famous in school?
Sir, I believe that we have already been studying famous personalities, but as a part attached to that, we can also include some other personalities which are not very famous, such as Lachit Borphukan from Assam, the Ahom soldier, has been given. His story has been presented recently in the national and the international forums. So these leaders, we also need to incorporate these leaders in order to understand, to inculcate various values in the students through these stories.
And what about medium of education for teaching? Do you think English is a better medium, or should it be regional language medium, or should it be Hindi?
Sir, the national education policy talks about mother tongue as the suitable medium for starting one's studies. It is easier to grasp the concepts if studied in one's own mother tongue. So I believe a mother tongue serves as the best medium to begin with.
All right. So coming to your UP, so can you name some welfare schemes that UP government has announced?
Sir, one of the schemes is One District, One Product scheme. There is Mahila Samarthya Yojana for women empowerment, old age pension scheme. There is Nivesh Sarthi scheme in order to bring investments, but I do not think if we can classify it as a welfare scheme.
No,
Yes, sir,
that's good enough. My second question is the main question. What is the importance of census in any welfare scheme? Do you think not holding census after 2011 is going to impact the credibility of the schemes?
Sir, I believe holding census is very important to the administration process in general. knowing the state of the society, or the data or the availability of data is the first point to begin with while formulating a policy or a scheme. So I believe census is the most important thing, and it is high time that we should expedite the process of holding census.
Okay, you are English language student. Do you know of any Hindi language author who was head of Department of English? And there have been many. I am talking of Indians only, very famous writers.
I'm sorry, sir, I cannot recollect.
All right. Last question I want to ask you is color of water. What is black water, and what is green water, and what is blue water?
I'm sorry, sir, I cannot distinguish.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Aashna, India has a foreign policy, neighborhood first policy.
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me, in neighborhood first policy, what are 3 or 4 tangible type of things which we can see of late?
Sir, one would be the connectivity projects. For instance, the Kaladan multimodal project, India-Myanmar Thailand highway. Sir, another would be the hydroelectric power generation projects. For instance, the West Seti hydroelectric power project with Nepal, Magdechu hydroelectric power project with Bhutan.
Okay. We have a grouping, Russia, India and China, yes. RIC grouping. Recently, there is a samjhauta type of thing between Iran and Saudi Arabia also, brokered by, say, Chinese or something. What do you think, if this group forms, of amorphous type of group, Saudi Arabia, Iran, RIC and few other countries, do you think that they are going to play an important role vis-a-vis West and America?
Sir, India post-independence has harped on South-South cooperation. So I believe, the non-aligned movement, one of the pillars of the non-aligned movement has also been South-South cooperation. Recently, India has begun harping on Indo-Pacific with neighborhood first policy as well going on. So I believe India is in a position, India as well as the other developing countries are in a position to influence the decision making and the global decision making as well as the reform of the multilateral society. So I believe such a grouping is extremely important and would definitely play its role in influencing global affairs.
Okay. Aashna, your optional subject is anthropology, and you are talking about some biological aspect of anthropology sort of thing. During over a period of evolutionary line of human beings, there are certain organs which we call vestigial organs. Can you name one vestigial organ in human body?
Sir, wisdom teeth are known as the vestigial organs, one of the various vestigial organs.
Something in our guts?
Sir, appendix.
Appendix. I wanted to know from you, what was the role of appendix, say 10,000 or 1 lakh years before, I don't know how much time, but earlier time when it was active.
Yes, sir.
What would have been the role of appendix at that time?
Sir, at that time, the diet was very different from the present diet. So, we were dependent on a plant-based diet.
Okay. You're talking about diet, and rightly so. Now, diets, we are nowadays taking a lot of refined grains, wheat and rice. Earlier, we used to, as you were telling, that we used to say coarse type of grains. Millets were a very important thing. So, from millets, we went to refined grains, and again we are refined grain to going to the millets now.
Yes.
Okay,
So don't you think it was a wrong step for a human being to adopt this fine grains rice and wheat? Do you think it was a wrong step? It was a mistake?
Sir, I would say it was important for the food security. There was a time wherein we were struggling with the food security, and various revolutions took place in the field wherein we could grow rice and wheat at very cheap rates. And that is why for food security, I think it was an essential step which we had taken. But now when we know that India is one of the largest growers of staple grains in the world, I think we can afford to go back to the more nutritious diet.
Okay, my last question is about, you must have heard about Elephant Whisperer, this
Yes.
Oscar award winning film. A special tribe is involved in that picture. What is that tribe known as?
Sir, I haven't watched the movie, but I know it is the Kartunayakan tribe from Tamil Nadu.
And what is the specialty of that tribe?
I'm sorry, sir, I cannot recall.
Okay. Thank you, Aashna.
Thank you, sir.
So, Aashna,
Yes, sir.
which is the latest book which you have read?
Sir, the book is called Love for a Deaf Rebel, Schizophrenia in Barwon Island by Derek King.
So, what was it about?
Sir, it was about a girl named Pearl. She had schizophrenia, and the author Derek King falls in love with her. They belong to Americas, but then they move towards Barwon Islands and restart their lives.
So, how do you compare American society with Indian society?
Sir, American society is a Western-oriented society that talks about a melting pot culture, whereas Indian society believes in believes in the coexistence of various cultures. So we have a multiculturalism model, whereas Western society believes in the homogenization of culture. That is
Okay.
one aspect
you are-
where I think we can distinguish them.
You are involved in yoga and meditation, yoga and jogging.
Yes.
So, should yoga and meditation be made compulsory in school?
Sir, according to my beliefs, I think compulsory always is a very extreme word. So, people who have various other inclinations, for instance, the cardio or the other forms of exercises, should not be burdened with that. But yes, we need to educate children and educate everyone about the positive impacts of yoga and meditation as exercises, and should encourage them to voluntarily take them up.
Okay. So, moving on to economy. So, Niti Aayog and Planning Commission, which is better and why?
Sir, I would say Niti Aayog has come up as the policy think tank of Indian government, has done various commendable jobs in terms of data collection, the processing of data, as well as the policy formulation. So and has also come out of the clutches exclusively of the government, wherein we have a CEO of Niti Aayog. So I think it's a more people-oriented project, and so I believe it has been done with the right spirit.
Okay. Tell me something about one district, one product.
So, one district, one product scheme is the flagship scheme of the government of Uttar Pradesh, which is also being taken at the national level by Ministry of Food Processing Industries. It aims to provide a fillip to the indigenous industries by promoting their products. So, such as the Gorakhpur terracotta products, Saharanpur wooden handicrafts products. So,
But there are many districts where more than one products are famous,
yes.
and it focuses only one product. So, don't you think it's a disincentive for other manufacturers?
Sir, I believe it is not a disincentive for the other manufacturers, because while the scheme is talking about one district, one product, it is giving fillip to one district, one product. It is also not, explicitly discouraging the other products. One. Second, sir, I believe that it provides a clear direction to the manufacturing, to the indigenous manufacturing industries, and also provides the artisanal workers in the districts to gain a market for themselves. So it's a market gaining scheme, whereas the other more nuanced arts can thrive simultaneously.
What's your view on same-sex marriage?
Sir, same-sex marriage, so the decriminalization of homosexuality has been a very progressive step, and has been a very progressive step, and I believe giving legitimacy to same-sex marriage would be in line with the constitutional ethos of right to equality and the right to privacy.
Okay, so Aashna, why do you wish to join civil services?
Sir, I wish to join the civil services for the diversity of experience that it may provide to me, which no other forum can. So that is, the diversity of experience is one of the reasons that I want to join the civil services. Also, I think being a part of the administration, I would directly be made a stakeholder in the process of bringing about a change in the society. That would be another reason for joining the civil society, the civil services. Sir, another reason would be the leadership qualities in me. So I believe that I hold the potential to bring something to the table, and hence should be provided a chance to serve.
Okay, thank you, Aashna. I pass on to Chairman, sir.
So Aashna, we have covered a lot of areas from your DAP, but in case something has been left out, then you can point it out. I can ask the last question.
Sir, I believe my hobbies haven't been asked on.
Yoga, I think, has been discussed. Jogging. Which one? You choose.
Sir, yoga.
Yoga. So we have this International Day of Yoga.
Yes, sir.
So when is it coming?
Sir, 21st June.
21st June. But why do we celebrate only on one day? Should we not celebrate every day? I mean, should it not be a way of life in India?
Sir, it should be a way of life, but celebrating it on one day provides it an exhibitionary potential to yoga, wherein it is shown on a global fora, and people can then take up on that.
Do you think India should have a Ministry of Yoga, separate ministry or department?
Sir, we have a Ministry of Ayush wherein yoga is emphasized.
Yeah, Ayush has so many other branches.
Yes, sir.
So thank you, Aashna. We close our interview now. You may proceed to the waiting room. We'll call you again.
Thank you, sir. May I come in?
Haan, please go.
Thank you, sir.
So Aashna, first we would like to ask you how you think you have done.
Sir, I think I was confident, but there are certain questions that I should have answered in a better manner. For instance, the question on same-sex marriage, I think there are various aspects to it. I think I could have answered it better. Another question would be regarding the separate Ministry of Yoga. I think I should have provided more insights into it. So these are the questions wherein I could have done better.
No, but Aashna, you were very good as a whole. If we see all aspects of your personality, you have a good personality, and you impress the panel. Maybe some questions here and there in your, balance of judgment. In some questions, you showed a very good balance of judgment. I don't want to recall those questions, but there were certain areas where it was desired that you should have covered both aspects. Like you have yourself mentioned about same-sex marriage. You could also mention. You see, whenever these things are asked, always remember, just don't see in terms of law and the Constitution and what Supreme Court has done. Look at the society. The timing of bringing out a law is also very important. And in administration, you have to learn this. किस समय पे क्या किया जाए वो बहुत है relevant, है ना? Sterilization 1970s में कर दिया तो सरकारें चली नहीं. As such बाद में फिर हुआ, लेकिन वो तरीके से हुआ. So how you do it and when you do it is more important than what you do it. Little or
Yes.
in administration. So always remember to give the other side of the picture also. Since you have mentioned about yoga also, I mean, Ayush does have, but this basically to give more impetus, because yoga is India's strength.
Yes.
So as a civil servant, you could always say, yes sir, yoga is a very important. You need not have agreed with me, but you could have elaborated, as you also mentioned, that sir, yoga needs to be given more, has to be more highlighted.
Yes.
Though it is in Ayush, but yes, I agree that yoga needs. And the whole question, the essence of the question was, are we promoting yoga only on one day?
Yes.
And that is why in that sequence I asked you a question that if you have a separate something, which will deal with yoga on a day-to-day basis, it will give, better results. So that is the point. Otherwise, you were good. Your communication was good. Your confidence level was very good. Your conversation style was very good. You were very comfortable. The ease with which you gave answers, whose content was also. The only thing is a little bit of balancing part. Okay, let's hear other members.
So, Aashna, balanced personality is always reflective of balance in judgment, right? So, if there is an issue which involves both the sides to be considered and you want to take one side, then bring out the negative aspects and how you intend to counter it. And I am referring to my question on infamous personalities.
Yes.
It has both the sides.
Yes.
You can argue for it, but at the same time, you can argue against it. So either your answer should have been pros and cons, or your answer, if you are supporting for it, counter the negative aspect of psychological children, and you are teaching in young children, their mind is very soft. So how will you protect them from psychological impact of picking up the negative traits of the personality? That would have shown. So second question, black, green and blue water. These are bouncer questions. We just want to see if you are well-read person, if you are reading current affairs and news. So that is number 2. Rest all censors. Importance of censors and why censors got delayed. You should have definitely commented on delay in censors will imbalance the benefit of such scheme. You did mention that census has been delayed, but why it is delayed also? Okay? So that is the only observation. As far as personality, very good personality, very good communication, and you are confident. You were never nervous. You and on English, again find out, like honorable member said, English writers who teach in Hindi and vice versa.
Yes.
Hindi writers who teach in English. Okay?
Yes.
So wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Aashna, you have answered well. You articulate and your answers carry your conviction also. Depth of knowledge is there. I found depth of knowledge in those subjects which I asked you. So my point is simply keep on doing what you are doing till your interview is over, right? So you have formulated and you have formed up answer inside your mind, and then you come out with the correct disposition of things. So that's okay. I mean, I'm happy about your answers.
Thank you, sir.
All the best.
Thank you, sir.
So, Aashna, you were good in all the aspects, and in my questions, you answered very well. So, just keep it up. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
So, Aashna, any questions from your side?
Sir, there was one question that I did not mention, that I am currently doing my master's in international relations.
You mentioned that.
You mentioned in introduction.
You mentioned
Yes.
the introduction.
In my introduction, yes, sir, but
Yes.
it is not there
Okay,
in the
not
draft.
there.
Yeah,
I think that.
it's fine.
If you want some questions to be asked
Yes,
from international relations, then you must make it a point
yes, sir.
because it's not in the drafts,
Yes, sir.
and which you did.
Yes,
So I asked this Japan question primarily because you had mentioned this.
yes, sir. All right.
You have to look at the Japan reply. Read about
Yes.
G7, G20 thing you did not mention.
Yes.
Japan is heading G7, we are heading G20. So there are common issues. So, any other question?
No, sir.
So we have given you 66%, Aashna, which makes
182 marks.
182. So is this your first UPSC interview?
Yes.
All right. You're doing very well, Aashna.
Thank you, sir.
Little here and there is okay. You're learning 2 mocks. Improve on all the points which we have mentioned and you will certainly cross 70. You have the potential. Definitely.